The IBF bantamweight champion weighs 18 feet across the ring from his challenger, Francisco Alvarez of Colombia. The Colombian champion against the world champion. Round one, they are set for 12, and we're underway at the Winter Circus in Paris. In the blue is Canizales. In the white is Alvarez. Alvarez actually brought blue trunks to Paris. He had to literally go buy a new set of trunks to get in the ring tonight, and thus he is there against the champion.
Orlando starts quickly, working to the body. Alvarez is kind of an elongated bantamweight.
He's 32 years of age, so he has paid the price, and again with that 34-5 record. Orlando watching his workouts put on by Jesse Reed at the gymnasium. Again, shadow boxing. And of course goes to the pads in the ring, goes to the bags, goes to the jump rope, back into the ring for some more shadow boxing. A tremendously well-conditioned champion here from Laredo.
Orlando works the jab and works the hook off it there.
And what really made me most upset by watching the workout, he was not breathing hard after all of that was over.
He's worked very hard for this fight. You wouldn't expect a nice hook scores cleanly.
You know, Cedric Kushner made a good comment when I told him that the Alvarez camp had seen 4 or 5 tapes of Canizales, and Cedric was quick to note. He said, you know, I could watch 4 or 5 tapes of Michael Jordan, and I still couldn't beat him. And that's exactly what looking at tapes can do. Unless you can perform and get something surprising out of the tapes, you still got to fight the champion, and that's where Alvarez is tonight.
That's right. You got to beat him in the ring. Alvarez trying to get in his rhythm.
Canizales, a 2-time Texas Golden Glove champion, lost in the semis of the National to the eventual champion Todd Hickman in 1983. And again, you see him going right to work here. He loves to get inside, get the angles, and hit some sides.
He's a throwback to Willie Pep, Sam. For those of us that have seen tapes of that brilliant Will-O-The-Wisp from Hartford, Connecticut.
Is that by accident, or just does he know anything about Willie Pep at all?
No, nothing at all. But if you saw tapes of Pep, you'd think that he studied them religiously.
The Canizales' little daughter didn't make this trip, but his lovely wife did, and she, of course, looks on at ringside. Rather anxiously, I might add, before this fight is over tonight, I'm sure. Another good, solid punch from Canizales.
Good body shot by Orlando.
Good combination right up the middle. Canizales, believe it or not, under the tutorship of Jesse Reed, has been working on his footwork, getting angles, becoming a little quicker foot speed. Much to the chagrin, the Does will try to challenge this IBA champion. Ready to go, but Alan Rothenberg has noted that the trunks of the challenger are just a bit high and pulls them down, much to the delight of the French fans, I might add. Round 2 of this IBF Bantamweight Championship fight, the 9th title defense for Canizales. He had good success coming straight up the middle in round 1 on Alvarez.
Alvarez is a big, rangy bantamweight. Orlando has to take advantage of his quickness.
Canizales won this IBF title back in July 9th of '88 in a TKO in the 15th round over Kelvin Seabrook. He gave Kelvin a rematch in June of 1989 and knocked him out in the 11th round, a little earlier there. That was after a first title defense against Jimmy Navarro when he knocked him out in the first round in Texas. Couple of tough fights with the Englishman Billy Hardy. That was fought in Sunderland, England. Went the full 12 rounds. In a rematch they had May of 1991. It was a shorter fight. The champion winning in a knockout in 8. Paul Gonzalez may have been the most noteworthy as he goes to work again on Alvarez here. The gold medal winner for the 88 games for the Olympics was a victim in June of '90, knocked out in the second round. Eddie Rangel, a fine fighter out of San Antonio.
Oh, Orlando hit him with that right-hand counter.
And he's right after Alvarez. Alvarez just in determination on top of him. Fernie Morales, along with Ray Minas, the last two that have fallen to the champion in his successful title defense so far. Alvarez already cut just inside the bridge of the nose on the right side. This is Canizales' only his second fight out of the States. They'd mentioned he fought in England and now fighting here in France. Look at the angles that he works. Side to side. Alvarez can't find him. Got him with a looping left hand, but didn't have much on it.
Low blow there by Alvarez.
Big right hand by Canizales. Orlando, combinations. Perseverance, looping lefts, straight left hands. He's got the arsenal. As you find in most of the Latin American fighters, a la Alvarez from, again, Colombia, their heart is huge. They will stay there till the bitter end.
Body shots by Canizales.
Uppercut by Canizales.
Alvarez is countering effectively, though, here. He's certainly here to make a fight of it.
And there's the bell to end round 2 of this championship fight in Paris. They call it the Winner's Circus in Paris. Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnola. This is championship time. The IBF bantamweight champion in the blue, Orlando Canizales of Laredo, Texas in the U.S. against Francisco Alvarez out of Colombia, the #1 contender, and getting a shot at the title here in Paris tonight.
Alvarez trying to get in his rhythm, trying to come to Canizales.
Canizales has got such quickness. He can attack you just at the drop of a hat. One of the great things that Jesse Reed has laid on us, I think, this week is the fact that Canizales was born with a punch, but his hard work on techniques has made it stronger.
Oh, and he stepped to the side and hit him with a nice left hook counter. Alvarez following with his own right hand.
That left jab just setting up the right hand that he fires. Most good fighters are set up by what kind of sparring partners are able to enjoy. We mentioned the former WBO junior featherweight champion Kenny Mitchell. Jesus Poe also was another one of the sparring partners that the Canizales camp wanted to applaud for his hard work in getting the champ ready for this fight.
Absolutely. Jesus gave us some great work. Orlando's got an abrasion under his eye.
Has Canizales had any cuts or swelling problems in his career, Bob?
Well, he has. You know, any fighter with that many professional fights, he was cut in the Seabrooks championship fight. Alvarez is pressuring him nicely right now, but Orlando's effectively counterpunching.
By the way, I made mention that Canizales defeated Paul Gonzalez, the Olympic gold medalist of '84. That was his only loss at 112. It came July 20th of '86. Lost in 12 for the North American Boxing Federation title, but in the rematch, again, a title defense in '90. He KO'd him in the second round.
Big shots being landed by Canizales. This Alvarez has a major league beard.
He is taking punishment, but relentlessly coming at Canizales. Canizales is very comfortable in his countering right now. He can come straight ahead at you, but Alvarez is walking into punches, and Orlando says that that's what he wants. That's what I'll feed him.
Orlando comfortable working off those ropes.
And there's the bell to end round 3. In Paris reaches the 4th round. The champion Canizales picking up as a carbon copy of the first 3 rounds. Backpedaling but countering very well. Now attacking. Alvarez starting to puff. Bleeding now over the left eye. Taking the punishment from Canizales.
Nice work here by both fighters trying to establish their strong points. Orlando thought he'd get more pressure from Alvarez, but he's ended up having to bring the fight to him.
Again, combinations thrown by the champion. Canizales, Alvarez hooking that reach advantage with the left hook. You can see getting in there on Canizales. The right hand obviously is also scored because there is a slight abrasion under the left eye of the champion.
Alvarez certainly came here to fight.
It is apparent to these very knowledgeable fight fans in Paris that neither came halfway around the continent to put on a lackluster show in this fight tonight.
No, certainly not. And now the fight's kind of settled into what we'd expected. The Colombian pressure in Canizales.
This is the second fight that Alvarez has had in the great country of France. He fought in Grenoble in 1986, losing at that time to Antonio Montera of Paris, of France. And now he is fighting for a championship against the champion Canizales, who continues to score with his arsenal of punches.
Beautiful combinations landed by Orlando. But I think he's kind of settling in, knowing that this guy can really take a shot.
Bob, every fighter goes into a fight thinking, if I can put the guy away, if I land the right punches, I'd like to end it early. Canizales is one of those fights that he will just let an accumulation of punches take care of business, I think.
That's right. I mean, he can do it with one shot.
Sure.
He's making some nice moves, and he's got this fighter coming to him and heavy over his own feet. But if he has to box, he's comfortable doing that. That's the adaptability of a great champion.
Closing seconds of the fourth round. The three judges that are scoring the action you're watching right now. James Birchfield out of Providence, Rhode Island. Roy Francis out of Kent, England. And Edmund Horn. And listen to the crowd at the end of round 4. Number 5 of this IBF Bantamweight Championship fight from the Winter Circus in Paris. Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnola. Glad you could join us tonight as the champion's back in his office again. Canizales in the blue, challenger Francisco Alvarez in the white from Colombia. The number 1 contender in the IBF and the Colombian champion.
Orlando choosing to work behind a nice left jab now, using his quickness.
I thought it was interesting. Jesse Reed in the corner asked Orlando, he said, can this man punched? Orlando waited for a moment and he said, yeah, a little bit.
Well, he wouldn't be here if he couldn't fight. And he's showing a lot of determination here, and he's more than just the one-dimensional fighter that we suspected he would be.
Well, through his career, he's got 102 wins, 72 of those as an amateur and 30 as a pro. Referring to the challenger, Alvarez, other side of the coin, 138 wins. For Canizales, 108 as an amateur, and now 31-1 as a pro.
Orlando boxing nicely. Good body shot.
Canizales has won his last 19 straight fights. We made mention Alvarez is unbeaten in 19, even though he has a draw on there. 15 of the 19 wins have come by knockout for the champion. So, again, an accumulation of punches are one big punch. This young bantamweight from Laredo, Texas, can certainly put you away.
Oh, nice hook, Orlando, after he feinted the right hand. Alvarez continues to follow him around.
By the way, for those of you, of course, watching on Mnet tonight, welcome Nita, won that 12-rounder to defend his title over Jesus Salud in Italy that Bob and I had the chance. And Cedric Kushner, the promoter for Nita, has indicated he's had a passel of calls coming from the States as the two fighters exchange on the road. That Nita has been invited to fight in the States on a national network television in America. So Nita also starting getting some national acclaim after successfully defending his title and doing it in a rather unusual way, going inside on Salute in Italy on Saturday night.
International acclaim is what he's getting.
Exactly.
Orlando boxing nicely. Colombian pressuring him.
Oh.
Steps in with a nice right hand.
Selective, but right on the money for Canizales in this round.
He doesn't waste any punches.
Closing seconds of the fifth. And Canizales has been sharper than attack through the first 5 rounds as we enter the 6th round. The Winter's Circus here in Paris, a building well over 100 years old, housing the circus that plays throughout France in the wintertime. 1,900 capacity, anticipating about 16 or 17, but got a great crowd in here, and they have been well entertained tonight, including first 5 rounds of this fight. Literally on their feet at the end of the 3rd round with a standing ovation.
Alvarez trying to get low on Orlando.
Almost get the impression here, Bob, that Orlando hasn't quite measured the left jab as well as he'd like to. He's throwing the good combination, but the left jab just not quite at its peak right now.
Alvarez, who just got hit with a big right hand, has got a good reach himself, and Orlando doesn't want to be in punching range.
Gotcha.
But his quickness is what's getting him in and out, scoring nicely. Steps around. Alvarez counters.
We made a mention that 19 straight wins are actually without a loss. He had a draw, did Alvarez. His last loss was in 1986. He lost back-to-back. I mentioned to Montero in Grenoble, France in February of '86. He actually lost in July in Cartagena, Colombia to Juan Polo Perez, lost a 10-rounder there. And outside of a draw in 1989 in Cartagena to Carlos Mercado, he has not lost a fight in 19. And a big punch thrown by Canizales. He's throwing combinations, and Alvarez is taking it all at the moment.
This Alvarez has got some kind of chin. Oh. He just keeps coming forward.
He does. Almost wobbly on legs of spaghetti, though. I think Alvarez could be in some big trouble right now. Canizales peering in his eyes. He's got time here in this 6th round. Alvarez is backpedaling for safety now. Canizales chases him into the corner. Digging the shots underneath.
Canizales is a vicious onslaught. Oh!
Alvarez somehow staying on his feet.
Oh, the referee might have to come in here. He's badly hurt.
No standing 8 count. He would have to stop the fight if he'd step in. He's not going to yet. Alvarez wearily staying up somehow. 14 seconds to survive the 6th round. It appears he's going to survive the round, but what a round it was for the champion Canizales.
Oh, that had to be a get ready like a
circus
tiger.
Crowd is being well entertained as again the trunks being tugged down by referee Alan Rothenberg. Oh. Canizales with a monstrous right again. Canizales uppercuts.
This Alvarez is some kind of a tough son of a gun. Oh, unanswered punches. How much more can he take?
Keep in mind now, Rothenberg has been in the corner of Alvarez and told his corner and Alvarez that he must defend himself and must punch back because he's taking much too much punishment here from Canizales.
Well, Rondo's really in the flow of things here now. We're getting to see vintage Canizales.
Canizales continues to pepper away.
The recuperative powers of this Alvarez are something to be.
Canizales at the peak of his career at only 26. 53-1. He weighed in today 117 pounds. walks around about, what, 125 or so? And
I'd like to tell you that that's true. But Orlando gets up into the low 30s sometimes in between fights.
But seems to be a little bit, well, very comfortable in getting it back down.
Yeah. Well, that's what he knows. He's a natural bantamweight. And he really wants to break the record for consecutive title defenses of a bantamweight. I think we can see here tonight he's well on his way to doing that.
What is the record? Do we have a number on that?
I believe it's 14 fights by Manuel Ortiz. And the time is 5 years and 11 months by Panama Al Brown. I think he'd like to get both of those.
He's well on his way of getting number 9 tonight.
Orlando's comfortably in the flow.
Yeah.
And I know he's given a lot of respect to Alvarez.
You have to.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, if I go in the trenches anywhere, I wouldn't mind having Alvarez next to me, that's for sure. Just a little bit of a boxing clinic going on by the champion Canizales here in the 7th. As you see the time, he landed some more good shots at the start of the round. He's just starting to pick his spots very carefully once again, as he fights well through 7 rounds of his world championship defense tonight in Paris.
There's another one in the bank for Orlando.
Very nice. How's the body feel now? You back to normal? All right. Deep ones, deep ones. All right, you got it. The eyes are in beautiful shape. Nice job, Gabby. Nice job. Here we go.
One thing about Jesse Reed, when he works a corner, there is praise passed around for everybody. Jesse Reed is not the man that takes all of the credit in that corner, that's for sure. He's awfully happy with the people around him.
Jesse's very comfortable with the job that he does. He's by no means insecure.
Jesse knows who Jesse is.
Start dazzling. He's slowed down a lot now. So pick your feet up now. You got the win. Let's go to work on
Across the way, Alvarez knows what his job is. They welcome him back to the ring, getting ready for round number 8. And round 8 is underway, scheduled for 12 IBF Bantamweight Championship. The champion Orlando Canizales in the blue, facing you against his number 1 contender in the IBF, Francisco Alvarez of Colombia. Canizales has had his way. Somehow Alvarez has withstood the eye of the storm most of this fight.
He's certainly still there, and he's using every bit of experience he's had to pull him through this vicious onslaught by the champion.
Canizales
looking for the right hand there. He's working his way into punching range, Sam.
Yep, he's it's like he's just a little bit anxious here to try to get a little more offense going. He knows that he's been able to score well with it. And why not when you can land like that?
Right, but he's not rushing anything.
Oh, right up the middle. An uppercut scored. Alvarez.
Good right hand by Alvarez.
With a right. By the way, the WBO lightweight champion, undefeated star, Dagoon Tabella, was scheduled to fight on the Welcome Nita fight the other night, but he did not because the fight fell out. But he will be defending his title and resuming after an 8-month layover. And a lot of people are looking to see what Tabella can do as well as the WBO lightweight champion and unbeaten, and one of the rising stars people are really looking forward to.
The Rose of Soweto, as he's known. Dingaan Tabella. Beautiful lightweight.
Nobody more disappointed he didn't get to fight the other night than Dagon, because he really wanted to get in the ring again. 8 months out. He'll get back soon, though.
This Alvarez is amazing the way he continues to come to fight.
Yeah.
Orlando must be wondering what's holding this guy up.
Most of the boxing experts that we were able to talk to around the hotel and around Paris had appreciated, of course, the durability of Alvarez, but still felt that Canizales might do this in early rounds. And contingency plans had been made, but right now Alvarez is staying in, and you see in the closing 10 seconds of the 8 is still battling the champion.
It certainly is. Orlando steps in with a nice right hand.
Here's an
12-round schedule. IBF Championship Bantamweight fight. Benedetto Montella, who's the president of the IBF in the European area, is one of those sitting at ringside watching. He, along with internationally known boxing promoter Cedric Kushner, watching from across the ring. And they are watching truly one of the fine ones in the IBF Championship numbers in Orlando, Canizales tonight.
Alvarez wanted to get Orlando into the later rounds and really put pressure on him. He's in a position, he's certainly in the later rounds. Canizales seems to be enjoying himself.
I think the one thing you notice about Orlando Canizales is the fact that his demeanor in a fight never changes from round 1 to round 2. He maintains the exact same posture, it appears. He has the same look in his face, and he's able to continue to move right and left with that tremendous conditioning that he has got himself in, and his mental frame of mind is just excellent.
Alvarez lands a nice combination, gets hit with a right hand for his troubles.
Bob, you being the manager of Orlando Canizales, how much conversation, or has there been much conversation on the unification of a bantamweight title with Orlando and some of the other champions? Any at all?
Well, absolutely. You know, over the years, we've negotiated with about every champion from every other sanctioning body, but they've done everything from price themselves out of the fight to, you know, demand all their own officials. You know, everything short of just saying absolutely not, we don't want to fight.
And they've also moved around in weights to get out of that bantamweight, right?
We've had guys jumping up 2 weight classes to get away from him. But like I said, you know, all we can do is, rather than take a chance and do the wrong thing as far as going to somebody else's hometown or whatever, we've just been patient and taken our time. And like I said, we feel like through the test of time, Orlando will show that he is by far the best bantamweight in anybody's organization. We're thrilled with the way we've been treated by the IBF, certainly. We've always wanted to go to the Orient with Orlando, where they don't really recognize our sanctioning body. Might have an opportunity to do that later this year. Oh, Canizales, you can you can hear the power in his punches. Alvarez seems to be getting just a little bit disappointed.
Canal Plus again here in Paris, furnishing our audio and video pickups here tonight from Paris and the Winter Circus. An excellent job to all of those fine technicians. We applaud you tonight. We hope our fans around the world are enjoying it as we end round 9. Let's play champion Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnuolo working with you tonight here at the Winter Circus in Gay Paris. As we have certainly been well entertained by these folks in Paris and well entertained by the fighters inside his 18-foot ring tonight. And certainly in this title fight, again, Alan Rothenberg, the referee, not stopping the fight when it looked like Alvarez was in desperate trouble in the 6th round, has certainly well rewarded this crowd tonight in Paris through this, the 10th round.
Orlando getting low, showing him that low angle. Oh, he stepped to the side. He double clutched him. Hit him with the left hook. Orlando's so confident, so in complete control here.
When you look at a world champion, and the folks around the world have looked at enough of them with our fine telecast around the world, certainly punctuated by Mnet Super Sports in South Africa. But when you look at a champion, watch the way when he throws punches. Look at where his eyes are. Exactly on the mark. Canizales never blinks.
Orlando's got those burning brown eyes. Reminiscent of the great Roberto Duran. Oh, and there's a clean right-hand shot. I can't see how Alvarez is absorbing this punishment.
Amazing.
Got to give him all the credit in the world. Orlando taking his time, going about his business like a day at the office, Sam.
A little over halfway of this 10th round. You haven't seen either fighter really trap that much on the ropes or in any corner. They've done it all inside the center of this 18-foot ring.
And the referee hasn't been real busy with them either,
Exactly.
Sam.
I think Alvarez is feeling all of those 32 years right now against this young champion. But to his credit, he has hung in there marvelously.
Orlando getting in close there, looking for that right hand. There it goes.
That's the end of round 10.
What a beautiful display of boxing we're enjoying here. I'm certainly enjoying it.
Your man, certainly in control, but just can't get this guy out of there. I tell you, Alvarez has been tough.
Orlando's smart and experienced enough to know sometimes they just won't go. If they won't accommodate you, you just go through the whole 9 to 5 day and take your lunchbox home.
I'm not about to open anybody else's pocketbook on this, but whatever this man is being paid for this defense tonight is probably not going to be enough. Good look at Gabby Canizales here, the former world champion.
Gabby had those burning brown eyes too.
That, by the way, is Jesse Reed Jr. that was just to his left or his right. And the bell sounds in a rest period, and here they go for the 11th round. Canizales, who's been sitting down on punches throughout the entire fight. Keep in mind, through about the first 3 or 4 rounds, Canizales was strictly countering, had not been the attacker, because Alvarez just came pouring forward. Suddenly, Canizales, as he had from the start, started to land with even more combinations, and the tide turned about the 4th round. Alvarez was virtually out on his feet in the 6th. Referee Alan Rothenberg let him finish the round, which had only about 30 seconds to go. And believe it or not, the Colombian is still fighting here in the 11th round.
Yep, no shortage of ticker on this Colombian, I can promise you. And he really doesn't seem to be much worse for the wear, incredible enough. Orlando's marked up more than he is. But that certainly isn't indicative of the beating he's taken.
Canizales, believe it or not, it's not all boxing. He's a kind of a fun-loving type guy. Says, I don't possess the slam dunk of a Michael Jordan, but got a pretty good little J. He plays a lot of basketball and flag football out of the ring.
Oh, he loves those hoops. I'm probably lucky that he's short, because otherwise he would have been a little blood from Orlando's nose there.
Orlando's just tenacious enough on a basketball floor to want to get inside and rumble a little, I bet.
We can't even stretch him into a power forward, though.
Stands 5'4", compactly packed in there. Pound for pound, maybe one of the best bantams to come along in a long, long time, if ever. As Canizales continues to work in the 11th round here. Uppercut scores again on Alvarez. One quick note for our fans down on Mnet Supersports on Sunday, May 10th. Meldrick Taylor will go against Terry Norris, a big fight out in Vegas. And on that same card, South Africa's Corey Saunders, of South Africa heavyweight champion, will contend on that same card to get some international media exposure. So that once again will be on May 10th on Mnet Supersports. Hope you'll make your plans to join us as the 11th round here in Paris comes to a close. On their feet to welcome these two gladiators into this circus ring. And the 12th round of Orlando Canizales' night title defense. The attacker in blue is on.
Looks like Alvarez is just looking to go the distance with Canizales.
He has found a Colombian bicycle.
And to his credit, he certainly deserves it.
He's earned it. You're right. Orlando almost getting him in the corner. By the way, after this fight is over, we will have the pleasure of visiting with Orlando here at ringside to get his comments on this Colombian that seemed like a punching bag. But the heart of a champion.
When he forces Alvarez to fight, he will fight back. Oh, and he's digging some shots, too. He's going to be remembering this fight for some time. Oh.
Bob, how much time can Orlando take off and be comfortable after this fight is over now?
Well, we like to keep him going every 3 months, every 2.5 months. We don't allow him to eat all those banana splits that he likes.
He's got only a minute 22 unless something drastic happens here in Paris to defend his title for the 9th consecutive time. Big right hand on Alvarez again.
Alvarez has certainly earned his money tonight. I'm so proud of Orlando.
A virtue of a 26-year-old champion in one word: patience. He has done exactly what he needed to do. Stayed patient, didn't get over-aggressive when he thought he had the man away. He kept punching, and it stayed that way from the first bell here to the bitter end.
Francisco, I think, was trying to find where the ringside clock was.
At least he's getting over in his corner. They can tell him what time it is. Big punches again. Closing seconds of the 12th round.
Orlando continues to put on a clinic here.
Just enjoy this final seconds of a title defense.
A wonderful fight. I'm happy for Francisco Alvarez. I'm happy it's over.
Wow. Orlando Canizales.
Pound for pound, Sam. There aren't many better than that.
I tell you what, I'll take that 116-pounder Francisco Alvarez, as he's being congratulated by Cedric Kushner across the way as well, as Canizales receives his congratulation hug there from Cedric. Both of them, I know, breathing a sigh of relief, if you will. And let's pick up some of this action again, Bob, in the 12th round. This is where you did not find Alvarez that much of tonight, in the fact that they had been able to stay out of the corners.
And rightly so, very well appreciated.
Orlando Canizales.
The outstanding little gentleman that he is, Sam.
By the way, we'll do our best to try to get the scores. It's academic, but if we can maybe get the scores from the judges just to give you how dominating this win was tonight by Canizales, but also maybe to show you a little bit of the fairness of the judges as well, because I'm sure Alvarez may not win many of the rounds, but I'm sure he might have won a couple on the card just simply because he stayed and he persevered. A huge 6th round by Canizales was one of the key factors in this fight. And as Alan Rothenberg gets ready to raise the hand of the winner, Cedric Kushner, the internationally known promoter, going over checking with the judges and the scoring and getting the official belt to put back around the waist of Canizales if he wins. Let's see.
Pour Monsieur Horde, 120 à 110 pour Canizales.
And the rating of the scoring here in Paris.
119 à 110 pour Canizales.
Canizales again on 2 cards, easily winners there.
120 à 108 pour Canizales.
And there it is, the official raising of the hands of the defending IBF bantamweight champion, Orlando Canizales. Very obligingly styling and posing for the French press here. But more importantly now does it. Bob Spagnola, congratulations. Your
Thanks
champ
so much,
looked good
Sam.
tonight.
He certainly did. And that's the kind of fighter that he is, too. I'm thrilled that everybody got to see him over here.
You know, we did not get to mention, but we will. Frank Tate has an opportunity to win a vacant championship as well. Another one of your fine fighters from Houston.
Frank really has reestablished himself as the top contender in the light heavyweight division, bar none. He's rated #1 in every organization that rates fighters right now, and there aren't too many that can say that.
You've got another guy, Calvin Grove. Boy, he's come out of nowhere again, hasn't he?
Calvin certainly had a huge big win against the European from Denmark, Rogelio Tur, that had knocked out Kelsey Banks in the Olympics and run off 28 wins. Was a top contender until he received a boxing lesson par excellence from Calvin Grove.
Well, the scores, as to be expected, 120-110, 119-110, and 120-108. And, of course, the scoring very much top-heavy, but look at these weary competitors as they continue to do what must be done in the world of boxing. You fight your... The crowd...